Thank you for tuning into our podcast. We are coming to you from Chicopee, Massachusetts. I am your host, Carrie, and joining me is Holyoke's very own local historian and creator of the Historical Tours of Greater Holyoke, Robert Camus. He offers both public and private tours, as well as presentations of the local canal systems, reservoirs, cemeteries, and churches, as well as various parks and streets in Holyoke, South Hadley, and Chicopee, Mass. Now you actually lead these tours and give these presentations yourself, is that correct?
That's right, and this is a very unique film.
So today he'll be educating us on the Chadwick Plush Company. So, what did the Chadwick and Chadwick Plush Company make?
All right, now this is a very unique company compared to most around Holyoke, but it fits in with the fiber model. So around Holyoke, you usually made metal or wires, machinery, or you made paper, or you made fibers like cotton, wool, alpaca, silk. Well, this company made plush, or if you go by the true company's name, the true company's name was Chadwick and Chadwick, manufacturers of imitation sealskin. And you can tell that's incredibly unique. So in this podcast, we're going to talk about where they're located, how their production model looked like, and then what actually might have happened to this company. But what I'm going to tell you is that they made very unique products, and I'll tell you what they are. So, the Chadwick Plush Company are the Chadwick and Chadwick manufacturers of imitation sealskin. Not only made sealskin, imitation of course, they made velours, lab robes, pelarians, astrachans, plushes, moquettes, and plush furniture. But their biggest product by far was the imitation sealskin. Now, you might not know what some of these are, so I'll tell you. And I'll tell you when the business started out. They started out very early on, probably in the 1870s in Holyoke. All right, velours was plush knitted cloth like velvet. Polarian coats, I believe polarian coats are like Eskimo coats, and hence the word polar inside of it. Astrakhan, it should else mostly be spelled astrakhan, and they're both correct as words. It's a loop wool-like cloth. Moquettes are wool pile fiber. All right, and this factory came from England to Holyoke, and they liked being right on the canal, and they were located in the west wing of the Cabot Mill, which is the innovation mill made by the Holyoke Water Power Company. And they lasted from probably the late 1870s until about the 19-teens, and then I lose track of them.
So where were they located?
Okay, they were located in a very special building. And this building was made by the Holyoke Water Power Company, and it was on Cabot Street. It was made in the shape of a U. And the main part was along Cabot Street. It probably was made 1878, finished soon thereafter. And then it also had two wings going towards that main building towards the south. And so one building, the wing was along the first level canal. Another wing was along the second level canal. It got its power from tunnels underneath that segment from the first to the second and powered the mills. And what it did was, this Chadwick Plush Company, they were in the upper mill of the Holyoke Water Power Company. And that was the one towards the west. And so they were a wing, and they took up the whole wing. And they doubled the wing into a wing, two parts of a wing, which means that west wing had two wings that the Chadwick Company made. And one wing was just basic storage, just one floor. The other wing, they did a little bit more. So they were an innovation mill the whole time they were in Holyoke.
So quickly, before we continue with the rest of our interview, just to fill our listeners in, if you want to find out more information or sign up for any of his various tours, you can check out his website at holyokecanaltour.org. And there he has both videos of the various stops along each tour, and also past and present photos of the historical sites throughout as well. And if you're interested in setting up a private tour, you can email him directly at bobcat4214, capital B, at yahoo.com. And they are perfect for fun and educational outdoor activities for the whole family or for your group parties, especially those special occasions and get-togethers. And they are also good just for getting outdoors for the day. So getting back to our interview, what was production like?
All right, so you're producing a lot of different items here. I just listed a few of those items, and there are very unique names to them. And remember that the key here is imitation, sealskin. So they're getting materials and they're making them into a finished product. Okay, now the production was like as the following. And there are two different parts. One, the simpler was the one floor structure, which was the engine room where the power is generated. So there, they would have one thing they would make would be they would make boxes because all their products would ship out in boxes. They'd make their own specialty boxes to make it look like a gift coming from somewhere. Then there was a dye house, and then there was a picker room. The picker room was they'd go through all these different kinds of materials and make sure that it was smooth. They would card out the rough spots, and it just makes sure everything was looking good. And then they had a storage part. That was the first part of the West Wing. Now the second part was 3 stories high, and here you'd have the power generation coming up. And in this part here, they had on the ground floor they had the administration, and then the upper floors they'd have things like a drying room, a steam room, where they're trying to cure the different kinds of skins and make them look like a certain way, a certain color, right? So sealskin, the imitation sealskin, they take the skin off probably a sheep, and they try to make it look into the look of a sealskin, maybe a white or a brown, and they make probably a loop to it, and that would give it the look of a seal. Or if they're dealing with some things like the astrakhan jackets, they'd have a certain dye, a certain look to it. So this is very important. By coincidence, this Chadwick Seal Company was located adjacent to the Holyoke Water Power's electric light station. It was right in the same place. So they were using the same power that the Chadwick was using. So that's an interesting fact because Holyoke made its first electricity starting in the 1880s and into the 1890s. It was experimenting still. So Chadwick was right by it.
And what became of the company?
Okay, so you pick up the company in Holyoke in the late 1870s, and by the 19-teens it disappears. What I think probably happened was that they probably got too much competition against them across the United States. Holyoke was a great fiber city in the beginning, and they could push a lot of its products, many silk products, wool products, alpaca, so forth. But Chadwick probably ran into some competition, probably had to move due to labor costs, and disappear somewhere across the United States. It's not an easy company to follow around. It's a very small, specialized company. So what happened to them? They probably went out of existence or are blended into another company.
So thank you, Robert, for educating us on your chores, and we want to thank our listeners for tuning in. You can also tune into a large selection of our other podcasts and much more at his website. Again, that's holyokecanaltour.org. And again, you can email him directly for private tours or to inquire about anything else at bobcat4214, capital B, at yahoo.com. And be sure to keep an eye out for his upcoming 2024 season tours and more as they become available. Thank you.